No, it's all good. Okay, well, I say we go for it.
Let's do it.
I'm sitting in my truck at my second job, so
Uh-oh.
Oh my goodness.
part of the reason I'm running late is my daughter's play starts this week, and so I was over there working on set building, and then I had to run out here and meet with my guys, and anyway, it just caught up on me. So anyway,
Busy man.
so here we go. Number one, which of the following are residents of rich countries likely to have in greater quantities or better quality than residents of poor countries? And I put all of the above.
Yep, that's what I did.
Yep, that's what I got.
Yeah.
All right. Number two, I guess I'll take it. It says during the past century, the average growth rate of U.S. real GDP per person implies that it doubled. On average, about every, and I put 35 years.
Yeah, I found that in the reading as well.
Same.
Cool. I can do number three. The average income in a rich country, such as the United States or Japan, is more than, and I got C, 10 times but less than 20 times.
I couldn't find that.
You know what? I found the 10 times, and that's the one I actually chose, but I didn't find the 20 times.
Yeah.
But it did say 10 times over.
Okay, I couldn't find it. So if you find a reference on that, just message me. That would be great, so I could look that up.
Sure.
Number four.
Four. Which of the following correctly rank the three countries from highest to lowest percentage of high school age children in school? I put C, United Kingdom, Mexico, and Mali.
Yep, that's what I got.
I got two.
Countries that grew faster over the last 100 or so years have an average growth rate of real income per person of about, and I put 2.5%, but I'm not sure that's the right answer.
For
Five.
in the text, I actually had put down B, but rereading that it said the first three on that chart. So the first three categorized the highest of the countries, and they all were above 2.5%. So
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's right. 2.5%.
0.5%.
All right, number six.
I'm trying to log on so I could go back and get that. Could someone read number six? I'm
Oh, yeah, for
fumbling
sure.
through the page so to go back and look for that reference for you, the 10 times.
Oh, thank you.
So last year, real GDP in the imaginary nation of Oceania was 561 billion, and the population was 2.2 million. The year before, real GDP was 500 billion, and the population was 2 million. What was the growth rate of real GDP per person during the year? I got 2%.
Let's see. Yeah, that's what I got.
2%, yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. Which is the next one? 8?
7.
Oh, 7? Which of the following would by itself reveal the most about a country's standard of living? And I put its productivity.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same. D, right? Yeah.
D.
D, they are the last one, I think.
Yeah, the last one.
You're number 8 now.
Yep, number 8.
Okay. The notion of our ability to conserve natural resources is growing more rapidly than their supplies are doing, and is supported by the fact that I have inflation adjust prices of most natural resources has been stable falling over time. I have C.
I got C as well.
Sounds good to me.
Which one's that one?
Number 8. C. The third one.
Oh, okay. I had A for that one. Notion of viability.
I would agree with that as well, though. I wasn't sure on this one, to be honest with you. I just.
Let's see, maybe I can find them.
Yeah, I was confused on that one too, but then I kind of like go back and forth trying to figure out, but I ended up with a C. But yeah, at the beginning I thought it was A.
Okay.
I think it is. I think it seems like when I read in the reading, it said something about that natural resources are a part of the productivity, aren't they? Can't remember.
I thought they did too, but I don't know where the reference is.
Okay, well, let's just move on. I'll go ahead and submit first and then we'll figure that out. So
let's see, number 9, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If an expensive alternative to oil were found, the price of oil adjusted for inflation, and I thought it was A, would decline as the alternative would reduce the demand for oil.
Yeah.
I have to.
Yep, that's what I have as A.
That's good.
Okay, number 10.
Yeah.
Country A has twice as many workers as country B. Country A also has twice as much physical capital, twice much human capital, and access to twice as many natural resources as country B. Assuming constant returns to scale, which of the following is higher in country A? And I put A, both output per worker and productivity.
I have D, neither productivity nor input per worker.
So I originally put A, but I after rereading it, just because it has twice as many of everything.
Yeah.
But then the assuming constant returns to scale, I think they're the same. Because of that constant returns to scale. Meaning that just because they have twice as much stuff.
Yeah.
But they're still putting out the same amount per worker.
Okay.
So I'm tending to lean towards Sandra. What do you think, Justin?
I was confused too. I think your logic makes sense. Because I was going back and forth between A and D as well. Because if they've got twice as much, or they would have the same. So
yeah, I'm going with D.
D. All right.
Yeah.
D is in Delta.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, which of the following will increase productivity? Which I have D. All of the above are correct, which is an increase in the physical capital stock per worker, an increase in human capital per worker, and an increase in natural resources per worker.
Right. And based on the last 2 questions, that follows up with 9, where we were like, or no, not 9, 8.
8.
Where it was talking about the natural resources. So I think we're good on 8. So
okay.
Which one?
Remember on 8 we were having a discussion back and forth about the natural resources.
Yeah.
But the last two questions have included it as part of productivity. So based on that, I think we're good.
So you think it's 8?
On 8, I think the answer we chose, which was C, is correct.
Oh, C. Okay. Yeah, I have C, but okay.
Right. No, we were having a discussion, and I think the last two questions, in my mind anyway, confirmed that natural resource were part of the productivity equation.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, 12. If the number of workers in an economy, sorry,
All right.
We have
that's
that.
my wife's ringtone. If the number of workers in the economy doubled, all other outputs stayed the same, and there were constant returns to scale, productivity would. Sorry, I didn't quite get to this one, so let me reread it.
Which one are you reading?
12.
Okay. So the number of workers in the economy doubled, all other inputs stayed the same. Okay.
Returns to scale, productivity would.
Well, that one might be incorrect for me since I answered the other one.
Right.
So I put D for this one, but then being that the other one was incorrect for me, I mean this one might be wrong.
Yeah, I thought it was B, that they would fall, but it wouldn't be, that it would still be greater than half.
Same. I have the same B.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay. Okay. Number 13.
Yeah.
Workland has a population of 10,000, of whom 70,000 work 8 hours a day, to produce a total of 224,000 final goods. Laborland has a population of 5,000, of whom 3,000 work 7 hours a day to produce a total of 105,000 final goods. And I have I just wrote down my little notes at the bottom of this. I didn't put down the calculations, but I put down that the first one used 70% of the resources, and they made 4 final goods per. I can't remember if it was per person or per hour, and then the other one was 60% at 5 goods per person, and I chose D for this one.
I got D as well.
D. I have C.
See?
C. Workland has lower productivity by higher real GDP per person.
Workland. That's lower.
So you have C?
I have C.
Well, I mean, I don't know if they're higher GDP, unless my calculation was incorrect. But although they have a greater amount of numbers, I mean, based on the percentage, it showed that Laborland had more production. But then, I mean, I don't know. What did you calculate? Or how did you end up getting that answer?
I didn't calculate anything. I was reading and back and forth, but I didn't do any calculation, to tell you the truth. So maybe I'm wrong because I didn't do the whole process.
I could be wrong. I mean,
so I think you're right. Laborland does have a lower productivity per worker. How do we find real GDP?
I have to go back, and I didn't write it down on this piece of paper here. I wrote it down on my little scribble pad, and I left that thing at work.
Oh, okay.
So GDP, let me see over here.
If I could find it real quick.
is from the past classes. So
Okay, so the equation for the GDP is
current year.
private consumption plus gross investment plus government investment. Government, no, that's not.
No,
That's not the formula I use.
GDPs. I don't even know why. GDP, normal GDP, no GDP. Can find my formula. I have it everywhere here.
Is the real GDP production is it the production function? The Y equals AF times the inputs.
I'm trying to find it.
If that sounds familiar, but that doesn't sound like the one I used. I'm still trying to look, see if I could. And I think I might have pulled that from. Let me see. Hold on. So okay. Y equals C. Yeah, that's the one.
Which one?
The Y equals C plus I plus G plus, and then I have NX minus I parentheses.
Yeah, but that's for GDP. That's not for the real GDP, right?
Yeah.
Because real
GDP equals constant base price is what I have here on my notes. Okay, well.
Oh my goodness. Where's second one?
I don't know where it's at in the book, but I just Googled it and it says divide the nation's gross domestic product by its population.
So then that's what we can do on this one then. We could divide the 224,000 divided by 10,000.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And then the 105,000 divided by 5,000. So I'm pretty sure it's either C or D based on the calculations I did just now because you take the number of hours worked and divide it by the final goods, right? And that'll give you your productivity.
Mm-hmm.
So you take the 224,000 and divide it by the 7,000 times 8 hours.
Yeah.
And that gives you 4. And then if you divide 105,000 divided by, it works out to be 21,000, you get 4.85. So right there, it shows their productivity is better in labor land. So it's either C or D, but if we take and divide those out.
Yeah, so I got 22.4 for Workland and 21 for Laborland. So it would be D. The GDP is lower
on Workland.
In Workland, yeah.
So
I think.
So I think it's C. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
No, it's Workland has lower productivity. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
and higher real GDP. So yeah, it's C.
So it's C for the 10, 13?
13.
Okay. All right. So 14. Other things equal, relatively poor countries tend to grow, and I put C, faster than relatively rich countries. This is called the catch-up effect.
Yeah, I have the same. See.
Yeah, that's what I have.
Yep.
Awesome.
As we were looking through to try to find real GDP, I saw that. So, yeah, that's right. Okay, 15.
Next one, 15
Yep.
is the best educated and most skilled person leave a country. Then in the short term, this country's human capital per worker. And I mean, I guessed on this one, and I put D.
I have D too. Will increase, but the capital per worker will increase.
I didn't see it in the book, but I didn't finish the whole read, so.
So that was 15.
Yeah, I'm leaning more towards B.
You know, I initially thought it would be B.
Sorry, I haven't turned my phone off.
Fine.
But I figured that if you eliminate, I kind of try to take the common sense portion of it, and you eliminate a strong worker. I mean, there's somebody sure to step up and try to fill that spot, and obviously that would cause a competition between other workers to do the same. So that was my logic behind it.
Right, but so that's why I'm saying both are going to decrease. Because the human capital is going to be less, but also there's less physical labor. Because you're down a worker.
Mm-hmm.
So say you had 100 workers,
Uh-huh.
whether they're skilled or not, you've lost one, now you only have 99. That's why I'm saying I don't know that it matters. I don't know. That's my logic.
Yeah.
I honestly couldn't back it up.
Well,
Hold on a sec. I might have found it. They call it the brain drain. It says that they get poorer because they don't have anybody to help them.
okay.
So the brain drain will reduce the poor nation's stock of human capital even further.
Okay.
So for sure it's a decrease in human capital. I don't know. I think it's B, but
See?
you're welcome to put anything you want. B is in Bravo.
Well, I think you have a better. You've shown you've had a better run at this than I have. I think I'm going to side with you.
Oh well, don't side with me. What did you, Sandra? What did you put?
I put D.
D.
Yeah. So I'm confused now. But that's what I have. D.
The country's human capital will decrease, but physical capital per worker will increase. But Remind me what physical capital is.
Okay, hold on. I was looking for it too, because I was answering when I was reading my book, but let me check over here if I find it. Because I was reading it. Okay, per worker. Okay, physical capital.
Physical capital is tools. Tools or machines.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
if somebody leaves, yeah, I think you're right. Now that
higher.
it's knowledge and skills that workers have through education, training, and experience.
is physical capital.
Oh no, that's human capital. Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry.
Physical capital is like the 12-2B, and it
Physical
says
capital.
the stock of equipment and structures used to produce goods and services is called physical capital.
Mhm.
So, based on that, I believe you are correct. Because if you have less workers, then you have more physical capital per worker.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, Alfredo, I'm sorry, but I'm my mind.
Well, I mean,
That's why we're working together.
Right.
Okay. So we stay with the D then? Everybody agree?
D is in Delta.
Yes.
okay.
Okay.
Somebody want to do 16 or?
Yeah, I can do it.
Oh.
In the U.S., each additional year of schooling has historically raised a person's wage on average about, it's 10%. I didn't finish reading the part, though. So it's either B or D.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it's D.
and I chose D from those.
I have D. Oh, wait a minute. 16?
Yeah.
Why I have C?
Is it?
Okay. Oh. Okay, yeah, you guys are right. I don't know how I was missing. Okay. So you guys
yeah.
say D?
Yeah. D is in Delta.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know why I had a different one. I was trying to rush before. Okay, so yeah, 10%. That's 1,000. Okay. D. 17 now.
All right.
I remember reading this part, but I don't.
I got B for 17 as well.
For 17, B?
Yeah, B.
Hold on.
I don't know.
That's what I have.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Towards the long run, but not in the long run.
Yeah. Because they're moving towards the long run mode, but not in it yet.
Okay.
Are we good on 16 and 17 then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So 18, it says, suppose there are diminishing returns to capital. Suppose also that two countries are the same, except one has more capital per worker, and so has more real GDP per worker than the other. Finally, suppose that the saving rate in both countries increases from 4% to 7%. Over the next 10 years, we would expect that, and for me, this was a process of elimination, and I chose C. The country that started with more capital per worker will grow faster. That doesn't necessarily mean. I mean, they're both. Go ahead.
I don't want to speak first because
I mean, did somebody get something else?
I
I
got B as well.
I I have B.
Okay. The country.
That's what I was gonna say.
Let's start
Because if
with
you think
this.
about some of the other questions we've had, the ones that start lower grow faster.
They tend to grow faster. Okay, I could see that.
There's actually a graph on 12-3B that kind of shows this. Is so when you start lower on the curve,
Yeah, I remember reading that. Okay. I don't. Yeah, that's fine. I'm good.
okay?
Okay. 19. Which of the following public policies would be least likely to result in more rapid economic growth for poor or developing countries? And I put B.
B. Which of the following?
Public policies would be
B.
least likely to result in more rapid economic growth.
I have
Oh, you know what?
I have D.
I got D as well.
Yeah, I think I misread this one in the opposite direction.
Okay, which is
Yeah, that would make sense. Because if they're not looking for, yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Cool. And then for 20, economists differ in their views of the role of government in promoting economic growth. At the very least, the government should, and I got A, lend support to the invisible hand by maintaining property rights and political stability.
That's what I have to.
I agree with that. $20 out of 20, peeps.
See? We did it.
Good thing we work together. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Good thing I'm part of the group.